Morning. Welcome to Daily Focus. I'm glad that you are up and around and busy about what the Lord has for you today, whether you're working already, whether you are getting a chance to get some things done around the house, whether you're retired and you're looking at some wonderful opportunities the Lord has before you, whether you're in the middle of a trial, going through some difficult times and leaning on the Lord for direction and wisdom. He promises to give that to you. I don't know what you're going through today, but I do know that this is the day which the Lord hath made, and he has graciously given it to us. And we might as well rejoice and be glad in it and buy it up and to use it wisely, be good stewards of what God has in store for us today. Well, Lord willing, we're going to finish Matthew chapter 11. And so let me read the final verses of chapter 11, starting in verse 25. At that time, Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and have revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemeth good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. And no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Lord will reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jesus says unto everyone, come unto me. He starts out by stating that these things, he's talking about the revelation of himself to these cities that were giving so much by seeing Jesus do so many mighty works and marvelous things, and yet they rejected him. And he said the judgment for these cities is severe, because to whom much is given, much is required. And that's true for us as well. The principle rings true. And Jesus is saying, when I reveal so much to you, you are responsible for that. And as Americans, we have been, just blessed beyond measure with not only truth and freedom and the ability to propagate that truth and to live out that truth, to promote that truth. And so therefore there is greater accountability. There's greater responsibility. Jesus is saying, you know what, I'm glad you didn't reveal it unto just the prudent and the wise. In other words, the people who seem to be in control, the people who seem to be influential, the people who seem to have arrived, but rather you're revealing it unto babes or infants. Literally, he is saying people who are absolutely dependent. And we see that Jesus comes back to revisit this very important principle, is that he is able to do more through someone who is completely dependent upon him than somebody who leans on his own understanding, who even in a remote sense thinks they are who they are because they're so wonderful. I'm reminded what Doc O said to our seniors, and I'd heard him say it before. He simply says, we as Christians should not be overly impressed with ourselves. And it's so easy for us to achieve something, to acquire something, to be able to reach a certain level in life, whether it's financially, whether it's in our business or our careers, whether it is spiritually, academically, or whatever the case may be, and begin to believe the lie that, wow, I really am something. And God says, no, if you want me to work through you and do some amazing works through you, then you have to be like a child. You have to be absolutely dependent upon me and realize that if the Father hadn't given me to you, if I hadn't been sent here by the Father, you would have no hope. You would have no way of being reconciled back to God. And so I am the one who introduces you. No man comes to the Father but by me, Jesus said. And it was the Father who sent me to you. And so the relationship that we have and the opportunity for me to do works through you is a gracious gift of the Father. And understand that you must be as dependent as an infant in order for me to accomplish what all I need and want to do through you. And then he says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. And he said, listen, life is tough. Life is confusing. Life doesn't always make sense. Life can be extremely, extremely hurtful, disappointing. We cannot know what tomorrow holds. I mean, we're living right now in the throes of a nation that is saying, whoa, what just about happened? We know that what assassination attempt on President Trump's life is tragic enough, but wow, what could have been different? It was so marginal as to the difference between an attempt and success. And we're thanking God for his grace. We're thanking God for his superintendence and his providential intervening to spare the life of President Trump. We're thankful for God. And we realize that life is so fragile that we think we're in control till we realize we never have been. And so I'm praying that this is a moment in our nation where people begin to turn back to God. News anchors, news personnel, people everywhere, politicians are simply saying, pray, pray, pray. The tragic loss of some American patriot just simply going with his family to exercise the joys of the electoral process and be able to hear the vision and the position of a candidate lost his life. It's tragic. And there's no way to prepare for that. There's no way that they could have expected that. And yet their lives will be altered forever. Well, that's possible for any of us. And we can be thrown into the horrors of surprise at any moment. And so Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You need to understand that my yoke, if you yoke up with me, I'll do the work for you. You get to be yoked next to me and we'll walk side by side, but I'll do the work. Why? Because my yoke is easy and my burden is light. There isn't anything that's difficult. There isn't anything that surprises me. There isn't anything that happens that I'm not completely in control of. So just yoke up with me when you're confused. Yoke up with me when you're tired. Yoke up with me when you're confused. Yoke up with me when you're hurting, and I will give you rest. I'll do the work, but you have to yoke up with me. You can't want the benefit and then yoke up with your money, yoke up with your position, yoke up with your friends, yoke up with your reputation. Listen, if that's what you're leaning on to make something of your life or to help you through the difficulties, you're on your own. Jesus said, but if you'll yoke up with me and let me lead, let me carry it, you will find rest for your soul. And what a wonderful promise to remind us, if we will be as dependent as an infant is on their mother or their father, we will watch God do amazing things, and we won't be overburdened, and we won't be uselessly confused or frustrated. We simply can live a life of faith and trust in our Savior who has it all under control. I hope you have a great day. Sorry I missed Friday. I was golfing in a First Bible International golf tournament with my son and one of our missionaries and some pastor friends from all over the nation. Down in Cincinnati, we had an absolutely great time. I love all the time I can spend with my boys and buy up every minute. Exposing them to good Christian people that are serving the Lord with their lives is just a benefit. And so sorry I missed you on Friday, but I'm so glad we got to share some time today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.